Hey, what up and welcome to another episode of Creased. Now, what can you say about Kanye? He's all over the media right now, and obviously that pertains to the sneaker world because he has his Yeezys with Adidas and everything like that. So we're going to break it all the way down and let's get into it. Now, series of events, chain of events, from whether it be outbursts from Kanye or Ye as he would prefer to be called, have led to JP Morgan, the Chase Bank, basically saying, and this was in September, 20th of September, saying you have to get all your money out of here by November. Kanye recently said on Drink Champs that he had 140 million with them. They've come out and said that they don't want anything to do with the Yeezy brand. So, that's not a good look. For the most part, I think banks are terrible people. So I don't think if anyone really had an issue with them, there will still be a bank that will house his money. The other thing he mentioned on the Drink Champs interview was when Puff said start your own bank, he said I don't know how. Killer Mike has something to do with the bank and they're going to work from there. I don't know. Interesting. But he's also been banned from Twitter and Instagram based on some anti-Semitic views that he said. Now, the thing with Kanye is he can say 100 things and you can agree with, say, the first 10, maybe even the first 99, but there will be something there where you're like, this is why. This is why people think you're insane. I don't think he's insane. I think he's got ADHD. I don't think he has a filter. He's been rich for so long that he has no one in the room to kind of like correct him. Because, you know, it's like that song he came out with like in Graduation, one of his last good albums. You can't tell me nothing. Like, he said from jump, when he makes his money, you won't be able to tell me shit. And no one can because the music hasn't been very good since then. But he's been banned from Twitter and Instagram. He also had an interview with LeBron James on his talk show. And they canned the interview because of his views expressed on there. Now, because of that, he's then gone to Drink Champs. They've had a big disclaimer at the start saying the views expressed by the person and yada yada. To clarify, very interesting. I'm not all the way done with it yet. It only dropped today. If you're watching this, then yesterday. But yeah, it's like there'll be a bunch of things that I agree with him, and then he'll be like, Planned Parenthood is the Holocaust, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know. They're not complete ideas. This is what I think. I haven't thought them through. When certain people, you know, highly intelligent people are having an interview or whatever, they'll pause for a second and think about it. Not everyone pauses, not everyone needs to, but he might need to do that because, yeah, I don't know. I had such love for his music coming up, you know. Late Registration, College Dropout, Graduation, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which I think is probably the last decent album he made, outside of just production on other people's albums, but I'll be honest, like the sneakers never really did anything for me. Even the Air Yeezys, when I looked at them, I was like, they're not for me. I could have copped them for retail. I wish I did because they're going for crazy amounts right now. Not a reseller, but don't cancel me, Nike. Don't cancel my account. But, you know, the market is whatever the market is. Something is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. So, but Adidas essentially, with all these ranting and raving, saying that Adidas I'm not even gonna say the word because I feel like this will get suppressed. There's a bunch of stuff that I don't actually want to say, so it doesn't get suppressed. But basically, he's saying that Adidas is taking his designs and just bastardizing it with different colors and all this type of stuff. Which, to an extent, I feel like he is. I feel like Adidas is. I honestly do. Or it could just be that it's at its run. Like, if we look at those silhouettes, they don't get popular unless Kanye is attached to them. If you just release them as is, except for the quality, and the quality of materials is fairly decent sometimes, they just look like something you would have seen at Payless. Legit, like the styles look like something from Payless. Add Kanye to them and people go nuts. The Wave Runner, horrible looking shoe. People start wearing them, getting fits off, and it starts growing on you, right? But only because it's attached to Kanye. If it wasn't attached to Kanye, you would look at that and go, that's horrible. Payless? Prove me wrong. There's only one way we could, prove me wrong, and that's going to an alternate universe where the designer of that shoe just drops it. No Kanye, no nothing. I don't know. That deal is being placed under review, and what's weird is because that all came about and everything like this, and we're like, alright, it's going to be over. People start talking about, like, does that mean the price of Yeezys is going to go up? Is it going to go down? Are people going to start hoarding all the Yeezys because there's going to be none left? And then Kanye drops this, like, vlog style video that... the start of it was incredible. Like, the way he's walking, if it's him, if it's an actor, looks exactly like a video game. Like, it's incredible. You're watching that, it maybe that part probably carries on that little bit too long, and you're wondering what the fuck is this? And then it turns into a vlog. Kanye West is vlogging now. And I'll be honest, I was hooked. I'm here for Kanye West vlogging because he has such a erratic personality and everything. He'd be perfect. And be honest, like, all he is doing is hiring someone to film it, edit it, saying this is what I want. He probably, it's a fairly artistic view. It's not a standard thing like this, put a camera in, do whatever. So he's got some overview, I would say, but it was brilliant. And so he even shows a meeting with Adidas, and let's be honest, he only shows parts of it. He doesn't show the full thing. He shows parts of it where a third party, maybe a lawyer, maybe a partner, whatever, comes in and says, you have done wrong, you need to, make it right. And they, nod and they're agreeing and all this, and then that's all you hear. You don't hear both sides. You also see Kanye show them an adult film because he thinks one of the guys looks like this guy he saw in an adult film, like, and they're like, wait, is this and they're like, yeah, and like, oh, that's inappropriate. Like, he is a child, but to an extent, so am I. So, like, I act like a kid sometimes. I'm still a big kid, but yeah, it was kind of a weird snapshot, and he called it last week or 1 week or something, and so crazy. The fits he was getting off, ridiculous. The man was wearing rubber most of the time, it felt like. I don't know. It's he's going in saying like Balenciaga's the greatest designer at the moment and all this, so maybe it's Balenciaga. I have never seen anything Balenciaga I've actually liked. I'll take that back. I think they did a Simpsons collab, which was kind of cool, but it was like $1,000 for a t-shirt. I ain't doing it. So you throw all that in, and then you add that, let's be honest, Yeezys have been sitting for a while. The one trick pony that was the 350 just isn't doing what it's doing. So what do? They do restocks. They get the most popular colorways, silhouettes, throw it all in and do restocks because they got to make some money back. They've got this IP that, granted it is a collaboration between Adidas and Kanye, but they got to do something, right? I remember when Yeezys were first sort of coming out and everything, I thought they were horrible. When they started growing on me, but I'm still on the fence. I thought maybe I'll get a pair. If I don't like them, I'll send them back. I couldn't get a pair. Horrible colours, no matter what, nothing. It all just sold out straight away. Now you don't even really see resellers reposting them. So now maybe I guess it's just the pure Kanye fanboys, people that actually like the shoes. Again, would they like them if Kanye wasn't attached to them? Who knows? But all this controversy, everything, you know, it's this massive shitstorm, but you don't know where it's going to go. Because it used to be the, you know, the old saying of any media is good media. None of this is good media, but Kanye is still Kanye. We still think of him, he makes good music, sometimes he doesn't. Most of the time he doesn't anymore. But, you know, he's still this figurehead that whatever he says, there is a contingency of people that will still listen to him. So he's always going to have a platform. Always. I can't think of a way where he won't. Even with the things that he's saying right now. But brands, I think the Gap deal got torn up as well. Adidas is putting this into review. All these brands are dropping from him like flies. So what's gonna happen? The Yeezys just, they were designed by Adidas designers. They're an Adidas shoe. Do they do what they did with the Kobe joints? They re-release them under some sort of different name.
And you still wearing Nike socks. It's kind of weird.
Nike, man, but I'm wearing it because I'm not no slave to that. This is my partner. Like, tell me this. Adidas could sign Pharrell or sign Drake or sign Pusha, right? But I can't wear Nike? That's pretty one-sided.
If I was Nike, with all this happening, whether or not you want to be involved in the Kanye business, I don't know. If there was any sort of interest in retroing the Air Yeezys, I would, while this turmoil is all happening, just, hey, remember us? Maybe they do a deal where Kanye actually gets paid from the Air Yeezys this time, because that was the discrepancy last time. He wasn't making any money from those shoes. That's why he went to Adidas. They also said they were limiting his designs. I mean, he had the great Tinker Hatfield on the designs with them, so I don't know. He went from Tinker Hatfield to, oh, what's his name?
7 hours later.
Steve Smith. I was thinking Stan Smith, and I was just like, nah, that's obviously the classic Adidas silhouette, but it's Steve Smith. Steve Smith, he worked with him, he worked with Tinker. Like, they're Adidas's top guy, Nike's top guy, essentially, right? If I was Nike, I'd be doing that. There'd be like all this media attention, negative and positive, but at the end of the day, like, it would move the needle. Air Yeezys, retro, the original releases. Do it like you did the Off-White Lot Dunks, right? Do all that with everything that's already been released, even stuff like colorways that didn't release. Do them as like a more limited release. And then Kanye was meant to be working on the Air Yeezy 3. He was working on sketches. We never seen a sample. I reckon there'd be a sample somewhere. I reckon it would have got further than that initial sketch. Put that into it. Go from there. The partnership builds, and that's the next chapter. That's what I'll be doing. But hey, I'm a person that has, I would say 90% of my collection is Nike and Jordan. I have Adidas, but it's only shell toes, forums. I have New Balance, but it's 574s, 574s. That's what I'll be doing. I remember at the time too with Adidas, right? He's like, I am Adidas, which in the sneaker world he probably is, but on a broader scale, not so much. He is 10% of Adidas's annual revenue. So what people don't realize is football boots is probably one of their biggest markets within Adidas, right? Because soccer is the biggest game in the world. Every country in the world plays soccer. The two main brands within that, Nike, Adidas. The Predator range been going forever. Messi, who else is on Adidas? I can't think, but huge. Every other sport, boxing, there was a time where the only ABA approved boxing gloves were Adidas. They did the Olympic range and so on and so forth, right? They're across everything, even skateboarding nowadays, which, to be honest, they just do a shell toe that's skate. I don't know, they're trying to do like a Nike SB Dunk, but like with a shell toe. It doesn't work for me. They've got other Adidas skate shoes. They're okay. They're not great, but Yeezy is 10% of Adidas. So the I am Adidas thing, it's not true. In the world of sneakers, fashion within Adidas, he's probably a lot bigger deal. To the broader spectrum, not so much. But you look at it, right, in that same world, New Balance is on the come up. They're doing crazy collaborations, doing a lot of stuff. The 990 V2s, V3s, and whatever American and UK made styles that they're doing that I don't really fuck with myself, but they're doing a lot. The Teddy Santis collection, Joe Fresh Goods collection, they've done, you know, everything. Slade Bembury, like, and then they got stuff that, like the 2002R. To me, it doesn't look so good. Huge, crazy, selling out. No collabs, no nothing, just going crazy. Protection packs, everything like that. New Balance is within the sneaker culture, right? I'd say it's on the verge or is number 2 behind Nike Jordan, right? If you want to say Nike and Jordan separate, I'd go Jordan, Nike, New Balance. Outside looking in, I don't know. I feel like I'm not too, if call it a hot take, whatever you want, I feel it's that. And Puma's on the way up. Puma's doing crazy things with the MB1s. You can never get them. I just wanted to check them out, see what they're like, everything. I can't even see them in hand. They're sold out straight away. LaMelo Ball, was he Rookie of the Year? I feel like he was. He was definitely, was he? I feel like he must have been, but now he's got the MB2. The same thing's going to happen. The design on that is a little bit different, but not too different to where people won't be onto it, right? The Stewie, I've been talking about it. The WNBA, first WNBA pro model shoe for years apparently. The Stewie, I can't remember the name of the player. Incredible shoe. I reckon they look better than the NBA one. They've done the stuff with J. Cole, the Dreamer RS, I think it's called. There's a big presence in the new 2K with Puma as well. Puma's on the way up. I love seeing it. Saucony's making, well, Saucony's always made decent sneakers, but they're making that inroads over here at least. I'd like to see more like Diodora and 9000s make it over here. And, you know, the diversity of it all, it just keeps it interesting, right? But let's bring it back to Kanye. Me personally, I said before, I don't think he's made any decent music since My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Watch the Throne, I think, was that before that? Watch the Throne was decent, but I feel like, similarly with his designs, that there's no one in the room for him to go, if you're just solely going on instinct. For me, what I've noticed, it's, you know, when people are way too successful that other people feel like they can't have an input, they can't be like, maybe this isn't it, right? That's where it goes a bit crazy. That's where you start wearing them whatever shoes he had in last year's worst shoes of the year. Because let's be honest, he had a lot of shoes in that, so I don't know. But for me, if I was Nike, I'd be getting on the phone. What do you guys think? This has been another episode of Creased. Leave it in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Do you think the Kanye experiment with Adidas, we could say that. Maybe it's over. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just they're drumming up some attention to get Yeezys to sell again. Maybe it's a false narrative that it's going to be over, so everyone should buy all their Yeezys right now. I don't know. Maybe No Yeezy will take over. I saw some more of them in the shops the other day. No Yeezy. No Yeezy. Maybe that'll hold up in court. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back twice a week. Peace.